What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Willard Speed and Fab. Glad to have you back. Super exciting day today because we get to finally bring some real content and not just an introduction video. So let's get right to it. What else do we have going on? As of right now, the engine is just sitting in the engine bay. We've got it mounted with the FabBot mounts, and we're ready to basically build the whole thing. We've got the bed completely full of parts, as you can see here. So we're doing a Walbro 525 Hellcat fuel pump. We're putting it in the stock Colorado fuel tank. So we got to make a couple little adjustments to our fuel bucket. So as you can see here, I have a brand new one. This is my second time doing this already, so I figured I might as well film it for you guys. We need to go ahead and do this again. The stock fuel pump was, I think, only 40 or 50 bucks. I can put the link in the description. It was just off Amazon. We're probably going to yank the bed off so we can go ahead and do some rust treatment to the frame, get it all wire wheeled down, cleaned up, and we're either going to do some undercoat or at least paint it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the work that's involved here. Real quickly, I'll show you. So this is the returnless style stock Colorado fuel tank. You'll see this in a lot of Chevrolet applications, especially all the newer stuff. This isn't even that new. This is a 2007. But anything that is returnless that you need to make return style, which we do because we're going to have a return off of our fuel pressure regulator off the bottom of our fuel rail. We're going to go ahead and drill right here. Seems to be the flattest spot, and I think we can kind of spin these connectors around to make a little more room. Spin the connectors. Now we got a decent flat spot right there that we can drill, and we're going to go ahead and use a uni bit. Where the hell did I put the damn uni bit? Damn it, Willard, where's the uni bit? Haha, I found it. Okay, so standard uni bit, you can pick these up anywhere, Harbor Freight, Home Depot. Any of those. This is what we're going to be using just on a normal handheld drill. We're going to get it drilled out to the size that the fitting needs. So this is what we're going to be running to convert this stock fuel bucket top. This is the cheap way to do it. They've got drop-ins if you want to spend that kind of money. I'm not spending that kind of cheddar on this build right now. So this is the fitting that we're going to use here. This is just a standard, what would just be like almost a bung style fitting. You just drill it, put it in there. It's got two washers, and you tighten it up. All right, we've got our unibit on our trusty old Milwaukee M18 drill. No way really to mark your hole out properly with a fitting shaped like this, but this should get us close enough. All we're going for is just something centered that's going to fit and not interfere with anything else. So right about there looks good, and we'll go ahead and get to drilling. You can mark it with a pencil, you can mark it with a pen, you can mark it with your eyeballs. Like I said, this is my second time doing it, so I'm just gonna kind of go for it. So let's go. Gotta love the unibit. Taking it just straight to a brand new fuel pump, nothing cooler than that. That one was hot. And then every so often you're gonna check your fitment. You don't want it to be too big, but you don't want to strip those threads. These AN fittings, wow, would you look at that? Man, sometimes you're just way too good. So first check, I could have went a little bit bigger, right? Because it's got the washers and the fitting. You're going to want to put that washer back on there. put the fitting in. And as you can see, that hole's just good enough to where the fitting's literally threading its way through. And now it's through. So the washer on the bottom. And the retaining nut. Get it all threaded on there. It's as tight as I can get it by hand. I'll get some wrenches on there and tighten it up. But there you have it. It's as simple as that. Stock Colorado fuel tank. Returnless. Now return. So our AN fitting will go right there to the top. This is still just a vent tube. This is your feed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you how to get the feed done. It's super easy. So thanks to Evil Energy, not sponsored or anything yet. Hopefully, maybe, give me a shout out. They just have everything that I've needed, been for a really affordable price on Amazon, and got here fairly quickly, you know, as quickly as Amazon shipping can get to you. So they sell these sweet quick disconnects, fuel line style quick disconnect fittings. So you can see there, it's your AN fitting on one side to your standard like Chevy or Ford style, almost any car company is using them these days, style quick disconnect fitting. So it's going to be as easy as this. Done. Converted. 8 AN feed, 8 AN return. Stock Colorado or Chevy style returnless bucket. Now we're going to have to gut this a little bit, take out some pieces that we don't need. This is an internal fuel pressure regulator. We don't need it because, as you'll see, or as I've already shown you, it's all going to be mounted on our intake manifold off of our fuel rail. So we don't need the fuel pressure regulator, and we don't need the stock pump, obviously, because the whole point of doing this is putting in that Walbro 525. So the first step to that is these pesky little clips. I'm going to have to grab a tool to kind of pry at those. All right, so first off, you've got these pesky little fuel bucket clips. You kind of got to just get under them. They're a pain. Just get one at a time and start pulling that bucket up out of there. And every time you get one, the other one will pop back in. Okay, so once you get the 3 little clips undone, the bucket should just slide right off the bottom. You're going to have a hookup right here for your sending unit for your fuel gauges. So you want to get those disconnected and pulled out. One's going to be for your fuel pump, one's going to be for your sending unit. So you want to disconnect those wires. Power feed for your fuel pump. This is sending unit for your fuel gauge. And now your bucket should just come right off. It'll need a little bit of persuasion. So I actually figured out that this is the return that I had to cut here off of this stock fuel pressure regulator. So I just cut that. That allowed everything to pull out of the stock basket. I've got a zip tie here I need to cut. And it is small zip tie right on the wires, of course. Okay. So now you've got your bucket or basket, we'll call it, separated from your pump housing. So this we're going to leave alone. We can go ahead and get rid of this return line, whatever it takes to get this off here. It might pull off. We'll probably just cut it. I'm just going to snip it off here. Our return's just going to dump back in the top. They have this thing, you know, we're not going to get that fancy with it. It's going to send fuel to the engine. The engine's going to fire, and it's going to run. And it's going to run good. So we'll just set this off to the side. We want all that to stay in good shape. Like I said, this is the second time doing it. The first time I broke my little arm here. So after I did all this, I wouldn't have had a fuel gauge, which I wanted the fuel gauge to work on this one. So here is our Walbro 525. pump, you can see I've just got this short piece of hose stuffed on there because this is what we're going to use for our feed. This is what we're going to use to hook up to the top of the fuel pump feed, which is where this black one is currently. So we're going to run this right off the top of our pump, hook it right up to the stock metal feed line. That goes to our new AN fitting. So let me go ahead and get this stripped down and get what we are removing out of it, and I'll get back with you guys and show you everything we did. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, these little fittings can be a real pain with these hard plastic corrugated fuel lines. They're basically heat shrunk on there, and then on top of that they put, if you're familiar with like PEX style plumbing, they put PEX crimps on there. So the PEX crimps alone are a bear to get off, and then on top of that it normally helps to heat these up a little bit and then pull them off. If not, you just have to go to a razor blade and just cut it off. But make sure you get all of this black corrugated hose off of your bare metal feed. Okay, I just heated it up with the lighter, and then as you can see, it pulls off. Now we've got our nice metal nipple that our new feed can run into. And we're gonna put the same PEX crimp on there. I ordered them, they're just 3/8 style PEX crimps. The ones you find at like the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's only carry 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this taken the rest of the way out. All this is gonna go, and then our stock fuel pump's gonna come out, and that'll be the last thing. All right, now that I've got the stock fuel pump out of there, the stock fuel pressure regulator out of there, and we're left with just the stock top assembly, and I'll call this like the hanger. And you'll see this is adjustable to fit different size fuel tanks. You can see this fuel pump has a different plug on it than this, so we're gonna have to snip the end of this off, wire it to these wires, and then it'll hook up into the top of the sending unit. So you'll just cut the factory end off of the Walbro Hellcat pump there, leaves you with black and red, and you'll hook it up to the stock wires here. All right, so there you see we've got it plugged back into our stock factory connector with our choice of butt splices, heat shrink connectors. I like these kind of like marine style ones. They've got the heat shrink built in. You just kind of hit them with some heat when you're done and seals everything up. And I figured with them being in a fuel tank, probably go ahead and use those. If you can solder, but whatever you got to do, just get them hooked back together so you can hook it up to the top of your fuel bucket. Okay, so now that you got those heat shrinked on there and you're good with those connections, this is just the same kind of style plastic corrugated fuel line. I just ordered it off Amazon. I'll throw the link in the description. Just get whatever size length you need. This is the 3/8 style PEX style crimp. You will need a PEX crimping tool if you want to use these. If not, you can just use a normal hose clamp, to each their own. And then, like I said, you'll want to heat this tubing up a little bit to get it on your 525 Walbro pump on top of the barbs right there. So we'll heat this up, put this on there first. It doesn't matter because we don't have the other side hooked up. But heat this up and we'll shove it on there. So I like to keep these little like gas station hand torches around. You can refill them. They work good for heat shrink. Do a bunch of like electrical wiring, you know, modding razors and whatnot, and the power wheels and stuff around here for the kids. You can maybe hear my 4-year-old in the background. He's playing around in the garage today with me. But yeah, we're just gonna get that good and warm, and then you'll see it'll probably press on here pretty easily now.
Why is that a bean, kid? What's that a bean?
There it is. You'll just hook that up to your stock feed, fuel feed, and be good to go. Okay, so here's your 3/8 style PEX ring. Now we'll just be able to slide that down. Let me get my PEX crimping tool, and we'll go ahead and get this crimped on here. So now it's just a matter of fitting your new Walbro 525 or whatever fuel pump of your choice into the stock fuel hanger. And you typically just do this by choice of zip ties or bubble gum or whatever you might want to use. So, all right, now that we've got our Hellcat fuel pump with our trusty 500 horsepower zip ties, got 2 of them on there, so 1,000 horsepower zip ties. We're just going to do the same thing, heat up this end, get it onto the metal feed fitting on the bottom of the top hat, we'll call it. This time, do not forget to put your 3/8 PEX crimp if you're using them on there first. But seeing as I almost forgot, I wanted to remind you to go ahead and get that crimp ring on there. Let's see if I can get it to the camera. It's just one of those. Drop that on the doohickey right there. Get your torch going. Like I said, gas station torch. Don't need no big hunker. You could use a Bic lighter for your Pall Mall cigarettes if you needed to. Just gonna get it warm to help lube her on there. I'm gonna say that's good. And it went right on like a charm. You honestly, literally, I mean, the PEX crimp ring, I'm gonna put it on there, but it's overkill. I mean, it went on all the way down in there, if you can see that. It's ribbed for her pleasure, and it's not coming off. Just for good measure, we got it on there. We hardly could get it. But you can see, can't see it that way now, can you? You can see we got the metal PEX ring. It's on there. Top, bottom, 2 zip ties, 1,000 horsepower rated. Now this whole assembly can just drop back in your bucket. If you remember how it goes. So due to the Hellcat pump being larger, there's some plastic stuff down in here that's making it stand up too, Ty. So we're gonna go ahead and just get that stuff broken off down in there. It just looks like a couple little pieces of plastic, shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then we'll get it sat down in there. So, all right, so once you have your pesky plastic broken off down in there, see if I can show you, it was just a little bit of mounting plastic down in there for the stock size pump, but this one's all bigger and badder. Daggone zip ties in the way, of course. Something's always gonna interfere, right? There's one clip. So with doing that, I totally forgot to put on my little filter sock on the bottom of my pump, so had to redo it. So with the filter sock on there, I only got 2 of these plastic clips in, but that's fine. It's, you know, it's not going anywhere. And everything's still attached to this. And that changes the height a little bit, but with those being springs, you can see it's got the adjustment there. So not gonna be an issue, not gonna worry about it. Just a couple little plastic clips. Anytime you take anything apart, you break plastic clips. I mean, have anybody ever tried to take a door panel apart? I hope not, because it doesn't go back on. All right, and now you see we've got our stock connections plugged back in there. She's good to go. So there you have it. Probably took a lot longer and a lot more explaining than necessary, but that is how you would fit a Hellcat 525 in a stock returnless style fuel pump basket. Now this can just drop right back in. You're gonna hook up your fuel this is the return. Hook up your fuel return line right here, fuel feed line right here, stock wiring, harness plugs, go right back in. There you have it. Thanks for tuning in with Willards. Hey, if you guys didn't notice, hopefully you did, we got the shirts. We got the Willards Speed and Fab. We got a back logo on the back. Hopefully you can see that. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. We got stickers too. Stickers of the front logo, stickers of the back logo. So we will be getting them up. We'll be getting a shop or a Shopify, some sort of website. But for now, just leave us a message, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, whatever. Willards Speed and Fab, we're out.